Hello everyone, so in front of me here I've got what's called a hot staple gun. This was the cheapest one I could find, and I'm going to be trying it out on a little project that I've got. I need to repair some plastic that's broken, and let's take a quick look here at what's all included here. Alright, so I've got it all out from the box here in front of me. So, first off, it comes with some pliers, and if you can see that, the tip is broken off. These seem very cheap, but I think they'll do the job. I think hopefully they'll work. If not, I've got another pair, an actual decent pair. So, that's not the greatest start right from the start here, is super cheap. But, anyways, we've got 4 different styles of staples, and I've never actually used one of these things before, so it seems very simple, the concept of it. I think probably for the project I'm doing, I'm going to be using this or this style. This, I'm not really sure how I would go about using that. Maybe something deeper, I guess, some deep plastic. And that, I guess, about the same thing, some deep plastic. So it comes with instructions here, and then the gun itself here. So the gun, very simple. It has a trigger, hold the trigger, put the staple in the end here, and it actually feels like surprisingly from the pliers there, I was kind of expecting this thing to feel really cheap. This actually feels like really good quality. Like, I don't feel like I could crush it with my hand, squeezing as hard as I could, because the pliers kind of gave off the impression that everything would be really cheap in this kit, but it's got a nice little weight to it, and it feels pretty good. So we'll see how well it works, and I'll show you what I'm going to be working on in a second here. Alright, so here's our project. This is a center console from a 3rd gen Camaro, so like 82 to 92 Camaro, and as you can see right here, it is broken. And it's been glued before. So what I'm going to do is this top piece comes off, which exposes that quite easily. I'm going to take the top piece off so we can get right at that. And then I think maybe I'm going to clean it with a little bit of wax and grease remover, and then we'll get straight to putting the staples in. This material, it's fairly brittle. It's also very thin, so it's going to be interesting. I've decided that these are probably the staples I'm going to use, so we'll give this a go and see how it works. Okay, so a couple things I just did was I just kind of got it comfortable here. So there's another crack. Well, this is actually split right through right here. So I just put a pair of vice grips on there, because as any good welder knows, that you get your area comfortable to work first. You don't need to be holding a million things while you're trying to put something together. So this is not together here. It comes apart. It's just kind of just the weight of it's holding itself together. I took wax and grease remover and just kind of cleaned up the area, and then also chipped off all the old crazy glue. There's still a tiny little bit there. I don't know if that's really necessary, because I'm just going to be pushing this little staple through, but it'll at least help the smell of it. And realistically, you should probably be doing this outside, but that's alright. It should be pretty quick here, I'm thinking, so we'll see how it goes. And like I said, I've never used one of these before, so it'll be a bit of a learning experience to see how well it works, but I'm expecting it should work fairly well. Okay, so I just installed the staple here. Just carefully pushed it in the tip there. It's got a little light on the front here. You guys can see that little light there. I don't know if that lights up. Yep, it lights up when you pull the trigger. So let's see how this goes here. So I'm just gonna pull the trigger, heat it up. There, it's getting hot now. I can see the smoke. Okay, that's a fair bit more smoke than I was thinking it would be. And that's probably deep enough. I'm gonna let go of the trigger. I'm just holding it here. The trigger is not pulled, so it's just literally taking all the heat out of it. Just holding it for it to stop smoking. Give it a few seconds, and then I'm just gonna, I think, just pull the gun away from it. There, just like that. So let's take a look at what we just did here. So, went in there, can't feel it from the bottom, so it's only in there so far. Okay, so a couple quick things. First of all, you can see I've got other pliers here. These things, I realize that I want to trim these off so I can put another one in here, finish this area before I move on over there. And these things cannot cut. So these things cannot cut this off. These things are junk. These pliers are just junk. So I'll use good pliers. The other thing is this should obviously be done outside or in a workshop where it's well ventilated, because it does put a fair bit of smoke out, which is probably pretty obvious to most people when you're burning plastic, melting it. So keep that in mind. I'm going to finish this up and we'll see how it goes. Okay, another quick thing is I just installed this staple in here. Now, when I install these, I realized that it's supposed to only get hot when you pull the trigger, right? These things are so cheap that I don't trust that. So I'm actually installing these with the pliers. So I just hold on to it and then just line it up and push it in. And it's really easy to do. But having said that, it takes a few seconds for it to heat up to get red hot. You would not actually see it when it's hot enough to burn you. So I would avoid putting it in with your fingertips. And as you can see right now, it's in there and it's not hot, but I'm just saying I don't trust that it would stay cool all the time just because of how cheap these things are. Okay, so we'll stick this next staple in here. I can hold on to this thing now. It's not too difficult. So get it hot. I'm gonna just wait till it gets really hot before I actually put it in there. There we go. That reduces a bit of smoke. Push it in there, let go of the trigger. Yeah, that was way less smoke that time. Just pushing in there once it got super hot, then push in. Don't just sit on the plastic. Pull it out. Perfect. That looks awesome. And that's nice and strong. I like that. This thing works pretty good. Now I'll just have to stitch up this side, and that's awesome. Okay, so I've just been plugging away here on this. So this tool works awesome. I really like this thing. One little thing I found was that when you put the staple in here, so say I'm doing this one, just see if I can get it to fall back on there. So yeah, there we go. It just kind of fell back on there. Anyways, once I get it pushed in there, I kind of move it just side to side just slightly. And what that does is it kind of gets the plastic, so it kind of massages the staple around just ever so slightly, and it gets the plastic kind of fill in the grooves just slightly. And I think that it's probably making it a stronger connection. I don't know for sure, but it seems like it probably makes it pretty decent that way. I found that the thing is a little bit hard to get into some areas, but it's really the hard areas to get into. You can use this style staple on here, and then you can basically go in from an angle if you need to. So you go in from a little bit of an angle, and it's really not a problem. So I'm going to put one more staple in here, and this thing's already getting really strong. I really like it. I don't think I'm going to need to add any glue or anything to it. I think that this is pretty damn good. I like this. Alright, so I just finished up this line right here. I think that should be enough staples in there. And yeah, so now I can pick this thing up right here, one hand, and put it back down, and I pick it up over here, shake it back and forth. Nice and strong now. If it's going to break, again, it's probably going to break here because it's already cracked, right? So I could add some glue or whatever to try to make it even better. But for now, this feels pretty damn good. I quite like it. Okay, so the conclusion here, the tool, absolutely awesome. I love it. The staples, you got enough staples to do all sorts of stuff with. The only thing that I would say is not nice about it is the pliers. These are junk. They're just the cheapest thing possible. I'd have to squeeze so hard to just clip one of those staples off. It's just, I don't know, it's stupid. But so anyways, just get yourself a decent pair of pliers. You can get cheap ones at Walmart. These are a decent pair, made by Westward, I believe. You don't need the best. You just need a pair of clippers that'll cut those off, and these are just too cheap. But doesn't really matter. The product itself, absolutely awesome. I love it. It is good. And please use this thing outside or in a well ventilated area.